Okay, at the hazard of breaking the mold here, but let me ask you something, Twy. Say, how's your brother doing?
My brother?
Yeah. Ain't he been struck with horn cancer and shit? I mean, yeah, I know he's cured by now, but still, he had cancer. It's gotta have left some sort of mark on him.
Well, of course it has. It wasn't an easy time for him back then, and also after he got better, to say the least. Because he had every reason to believe that his time was up when he got cancer, he totally let himself go. He neglected his duties, his exercises, his health, everything. He would spend days just in bed, munching on the most unhealthy junk he could get hooves on. Cadence is doing everything in her power to help him, but he fell into such a deep hole that he's having a really hard time getting back out of it. Once he even told her that he feels like it's no use even trying to get back up because fate is just waiting for the next opportunity to throw him back down again.
Yeesh, that sounds pretty bad, honestly.
Yeah, it does, but all in all, it just means my brother got really fat. In fact, he's so unhealthy that, I'm sorry to say, he's unable to perform his duties as captain of the Royal Guard.
Okay. Why did you pronounce that so weirdly?
I don't know, just felt like the right way to say it.
That don't mean it actually was, 'cause I might be wrong, but ain't your brother not been doing Royal Guard duties ever since 2012? Since he became Prince of the Crystal Empire.
She does have a point. That chrysalis quote doesn't really work anymore.
Every pwn is a critic.
With every right to be, Twilight. It's honestly pretty fat-phobic of you to call your brother fat just because he weighs a lot more than is considered healthy. If anything, you have to call him a pony of weight.
Oh, fuck off. Don't you start with this, too.
Besides, why are you saying it's fat-phobic to call someone fat when that word literally contains it itself? Isn't it then also fat-phobic to even say that word?
No. It's okay when we do it.
Who the hell is we, Fluttershy? You're not a pound heavier than any of us. I'd even argue you're a little skinnier.
Oh, don't you for 1 second think of coming with some shit like you identify as fat, that you're now trans weight or fat gender or some bullshit.
Please, those words are fucking ridiculous, even in the context of this discussion.
Still, didn't Roboto say he wanted to stop with that? Wow, nice fucking stamina, bro. That must have been like 3 whole sketches.
Calm down, every pony. He did stop with it. Which is why we're gonna drop this topic now. But sometimes you just gotta take an opportunity when it's there, you know? And he wanted to use the term pony of weight for nearly 2 years now and never got a chance.
But why does it always have to be in this spiteful, ridiculing manner? Can Robotus choose a more diplomatic approach to Vice's opinions?
Well, quite frankly, no. The problem with that is that Roboto still always kind of wants to remain true to facts. And fact is that you simply cannot speak positively and truthfully about that body positivity bullshit at the same time.
Jeez, now even I found that to be crossing the line.
And it actually is possible, you just have to make some concessions. Like, well, the basic message about not hating yourself or feeling worthless because of your looks or health conditions, that is a good message I can get behind.
It definitely is, but it also has not been the core message of that community for years now. Yet still, it technically was something nice we said about it, so mission accomplished.
Alright then, enough of the political ranting, this is about my brother. What can I do to help him? How do I motivate him to get back into life?
Well, I might have an idea. Say, your brother surely also got some suicidal thoughts, don't he?
Whoa, that is some fucking jumping topics, AJ. Why would you think that?
I don't know if he really is that fat.
Okay, so I guess we can all wrap this up, can't we? Seeing as this sketch is definitely not gonna get published.
Nah, you ain't even heard my suggestion yet. I done exercise for him, which I'm sure he can do just fine. Alright, so he begins by standing on his hind legs, if you can. Then he's gonna take a big kitchen knife and put it in the floor before with the tip pointing upwards.
Okay. Where exactly is this going? And do I even want to know?
Well, once he's set up, he's gonna be doing squats. The knife's there to motivate him to get back up. And if he's suicidal, he ain't got nothing to lose. If he can't get back up and falls, the problem's gonna fix itself.
Holy shit, what a terrible description. I do hope the payoff of this horrific setup is worth it.
You betcha, Floods. 'Cause this exercise is called suicide squats.
Okay, now real talk, how low have we stooped in this series? We built up all this shit about my brother, that he nearly died of cancer, that he fell into a hole of depression because of it and got obese. All just so it culminates in this fucking pun. Hey, why don't we also start making fun of the people who died in Ukraine while we're at it?
Well, it sure sounds like nothing's changed about you guys since I was gone.
Starlight! Oh, thank fuck. Now we can leave that topic behind us altogether. Apropos leaving, that's what I'll be doing now. Goodbye, friends.
Wait, where are you going?
To the Christian Empire. All that talk about your brother, even if it was just a tasteless setup for a dumb joke, still got me thinking. Maybe I can share a map. After all, happiness is kind of my profession. See you later.
Thank you, Pinky.
What's wrong, Twilight? You seem confused.
Yeah, a little. I somehow feel weird. Like, kind of emotional because of what Pinky's doing for my brother.
I think you call that gratefulness.
If you say so, I wouldn't know. Okay, so you're still doing the thing where you can't stay focused. Nice. Hello, friends. I am back, as you can see.
Oh yeah, right. Sorry. So, I guess you're finished with the whole cult business, right?
Yes, pretty much. After the collapse is now past and I managed to save my herd from destruction, I decided it was safe for us all to return home.
Well, that's good, Starlight. But I think it's about high time some pony apologized to another here.
Really, Twilight? I'm honestly not in the mood for that damn joke where you admit that you should apologize but never actually do it. Still, I appreciate the fact that you admit it at all.
What, me? I meant you, Starlight. You and your fucking cult stirring up all this panic, drawing in ponies from all over Equestria and making them leave their families behind. Nothing but hot air in the end.
I must have misheard just now. You fucking did not. I was right about the collapse. I was right all along.
Maybe so, but guess what? So was I.
What?
Well, I'm just saying, for this collapse thing to be so real, Equestria's still remarkably whole and undestroyed. Could it be maybe that some main six fixed that problem when it became acute? Despite just letting it come to us? See, I told you from the very start that we don't need to worry ourselves about this so-called collapse. And as expected, I was right. The collapse has been prevented and we only had to do the bare minimum for it.
Why, you're self-righteous. What do you even mean, prevented? If anything, you only put an end to it. But nevertheless, it did happen. Oh, please, you don't mean that little flickering in the sky above Ponyville. It was hardly noticeable, even. Oh my God, you short-sighted ponies. Did it ever once cross your mind that maybe Ponyville wasn't the only place affected by it? My town was basically the only place that could spare from it because of the shield I cast over it. But it happened in all the rest of Equestria. There were earthquakes, the volcanoes in the Dragonlands started erupting, floodings at the coastlines, ponies being pulled into tears in the fabric of reality and vanishing forever, lightning struck down from above and set fire to the lands. Manhattan looked like after Independence Day, for fuck's sake.
Whoa, that sounds like a fucking lot, man. But wait, if it really were that bad as you're saying, how come we ain't heard nothing of it here in Ponyville?
Yeah, usually one would expect that to be all over the news.
It was. But does any pony even read the newspaper?
Nah, Spike sometimes flicks through it. But another thing, if all that destruction was really so bad, why did no pony come ask for aid from the government?
They did! Luna launched an entire charity program for the victims of the collapse. But how would you have noticed that? You were never there in Canterlot after all.
Okay, I can't deny that.
Besides, there's another reason why you haven't heard anything about all the chaos and destruction. Next to Lunar and her helpers, I've also been busy fixing the damages across Equestria. Or did you never wonder why it took me this many sketches to come back home?
Funny you would ask that. We literally did wonder ourselves that like 3 sketches ago.
Well, like I said, I was busy traveling around the country and helping folks with everything I could. I managed to fix most of the material damages, but even my Mary Sue powers were unable to find the ponies who got sucked into another world. They'll all remain missing, I'm afraid. Still pains me that I couldn't do more. Seeing the heartbreak in the eyes of their loved ones when I had to tell them I couldn't help, that's gonna haunt me forever.
Yeah. Well, at least the infrastructure's back up and running. Good job, Starlight. You did your country proud. So now everything ended favorably. And therefore, who was right in the end that everything was gonna be fine? Us.
Oh, you. Things I would do to you if I had just the slightest bit less self-control.
Fine, and let's just drop this for now. Say, I've always wondered, what exactly was it even you guys were doing in your cult? I mean, you have practically eaten skate, but were you also sacrificing non-believers and singing Amazing Grace creepily while doing so?
Well, partly. But basically we weren't doing anything all that special in our town. Plainly said, we were just waiting for the collapse to happen until it did. Knowing that when the world falls into the flames, we would rise again. And since I, as the cult's leader, had more free time than I knew what to do with, I spent my time there experimenting with a little magic. I came up with a totally new way to cast spells, actually. You know, it always is kind of exhausting to focus on a spell in your mind and channel it in your horn to cast it. I found a simpler solution by simply enchanting words. Whenever they are spoken by a unicorn, it is automatically cast.
That sounds interesting. What words did you enchant?
Well, I started with something small that would definitely not have dramatic consequences somewhere in the far future. The words are frosty shivers.
Uh-huh. Well, for first impression, it does sound admittedly, pretty dumb. What does it do?
Well, it's just a small temperature spell. It basically just casts a little bit of magic into the atmosphere to make the weather slightly cooler.
I see. Well, I guess it's kinda good for global warming and stuff, but still, I don't think that's gonna catch on.
Yeah, probably not. I was just bored, honestly, when I came up with that. Let's just forget about it.
Already have.
Y'all know what's weird, though? For some reason, I feel like we've once again come a little closer to G5.
Anyways, it was nice catching up with you girls, but I would like to fully arrive now and maybe unpack my stuff.
Oh, wait, right, Starlight. This is a little awkward now, but I'm afraid that while you were gone, I may have rented your room in my castle to Pinky. Well, actually Spike did, but, yeah, your room's currently occupied. You want me to throw her out so you can move back in?
Nah, no need, Twilight. I was actually not planning on returning to your castle. By now, Trixie and I have decided that I would move in with her.
Wait, Trixie?
Yeah, we're officially a couple now. We might not be lesbians, but still, for some reason, we're just attracted to each other. And we want to spend as much time with each other as possible.
Actually, that's the definition of lesbian. But okay.
Nah, wait, ain't nothing okay with that. But what about your will they won't they running gag?
Well, about that. When we were at Starlight Skate, we came to realize that we could very likely die when the collapse came. So we decided to put a stop to all this constant back and forth and just admit to our feelings. To just keep on denying it only for the sake of an unfunny running egg would have been silly. So now, we're officially together. I'm moving into a wagon.
What, that little thing? From what I've seen in the show, it barely had enough space for Trixie herself.
Oh, don't worry, I figured that out. I'm thinking of enchanting it with Tata's magic to make it way bigger on the inside.
Okay then, so I guess all we can say to that is... congratulations and all that.
Thanks. Now I should get going. See you around, girls.
Huh. So that's how it goes. I find it really nice, by the way, that the situation with my brother got resolved by now and wasn't totally overshadowed in this sketch.
Me too.
Uh...